Hi everybody, welcome to TC.
Hello. Hi. Hi there.
We're back again. Hi, I'm Denise Chiquito, licensed acupuncturist and Chinese herbalist.
And I am Kirsten Cowan. I'm also a licensed acupuncturist and a Chinese herbalist.
And we're here today to talk to you about immune boosting. All month in September, we're going to talk about immune boosting with traditional Chinese medicine, traditional East Asian medicine, things that can help you stay healthy in the fall and winter. And well, if you saw anything about the Olympics and cupping, you'll understand what we're going to talk about today. But first, Kirsten's going to show you the links of everything you can find more about us on the web.
Everything that we talk about and reference during all of our scopes, we link to on our Pinterest board, our Periscope Pinterest board, and the short link there is bit.ly/Periscope pins. You can find all of our previous broadcasts archived on our YouTube channel, bit.ly/TCM Talk Vids. If you have questions about anything you see us talk about or hear us talk about, or ideas for upcoming episodes, please email us, traditionalchinesemedicinetalk@gmail.com.
Thank you. So you might have seen pictures of Olympic athletes with red and purple circles on them, which are not hickeys. Those are cupping marks. And cupping is one of the East Asian tools to use to help with muscle aches and spasms and to help increase blood flow to the area. Our friend Jennifer Dubowski from TCM 007, she just did a little demo a couple of days ago about cupping, where she showed you the suction cupping set that she has. There's another way of doing cupping that's been traditionally used called fire cupping, which I love because I love to play with fire in my job. So let's show you what cups look like. So this is a glass cup. This is a small one, and this is a big one. And what we do to get this, how do you get this to stick on the body? Well, we use fire. We use fire to take the air out of this. We put fire into the cup, and then quickly, wherever we're going to put it on the skin, I'll just show you on my arm without the fire, you just quickly put the cup there, either without a liniment or with a liniment under the cup, so you can slide it around, or if you just have, if somebody has need to have this just in one place, you can just leave it there without a liniment underneath it. If you're going to use liniment, I recommend Kirsten's Basic Balm, for example. I use this all the time, and I keep running out of it because I use it so much for cupping and for guasha, which we'll talk about in a minute. For cold and flus, the best thing to do with the cups is to use them on the back. Along, Kirsten was showing earlier the Wingate area here on the upper back and lower neck. You can put the cups along this area, sort of over the back of where the lungs are, and these acupuncture points are really good for drawing out toxins, heat, and helping to relieve the symptoms of cold or flus really quickly. And this is another thing, as I was talking about in the last scope, you want to get in to see your acupuncturist right away when you can, and they'll probably do cupping or guasha on you if you have a cold or a flu. So that's one way to do this, and cupping is something I would definitely say you should get done by an acupuncturist or herbalist. Some massage therapists do it as well, and physical therapists, but definitely get somebody who's experienced doing it, otherwise you might hurt yourself.
If you just learned about cupping with all the coverage that it got around the Olympics, then you might think that it's really only a muscular treatment for aches and pains or muscle problems and things like that. But in traditional Chinese medicine and in a lot of other cultures where cupping is practiced, which is throughout Eastern Europe and even in the Middle East, all over Asia and in Central America as well, all have different types of cupping traditions. It really has this medical application, and so if you go see an acupuncturist or a herbalist, they are going to be able to use cupping on you for this kind of immunity boosting, and cold and flu prevention and treatment, which a physical therapist isn't going to have that kind of training in terms of how to use it in these other ways. So that's something to be aware of. It's not just a muscle treatment. It's actually got these other medical applications that we use it for in traditional Chinese and traditional Asian medicine.
Yes, thank you so much. So another treatment. It's my cat Spartacus, if you can hear purring down here. He's joined us for TCM Talk today. We're not going to do cupping or guasha on Spartacus.
Absolutely
I don't
not.
think he's ever had them. He's had acupuncture, though. He gets that quite often, actually, by a licensed vet. So guasha. So whereas cupping, you'll see these distinctive marks that you saw on some of the Olympic athletes, the round circles on the round marks that are either purple or red or maybe pink on somebody's body. Guasha does not leave those specific marks. It will leave more red dots. In fact, sha means red, and it refers to the red dots that are raised when doing guasha. Now, there are several tools that people use for guasha, including bone and horn and or Chinese soup spoon. So this is one of the tools people have used for guasha with different shapes. You can see the different shapes would be good for different parts of the body. And that's one of them. Also a Chinese soup spoon. We've done demos here before on TCM Talk with a small Chinese soup spoon that you can use guasha, not as strongly as we're talking about here, but you can do guasha. We've done a demo before about doing guasha on the face for facial, basically like acupuncture and guasha facelift.
Yeah.
And you can check that out on our Pinterest board for those. What I use is just a bottle cap. These are easy to use and they're really cheap. My teacher, Arya Nielsen, is the Western expert in guasha. She helped bring it to the West. And she has an entire book about guasha and a DVD if you want to see how to do guasha on yourself. I also have an article on Accutech Health called Have You Heard of Guasha? And there's a video in there of guasha being done on a kid by Robin Green, who's an acupuncturist who specializes in pediatrics. So you can do this on kids, you can do it on adults, you can do it on anybody. And I'll just show you basically how I do it on myself or on somebody else. Is really, it's hard to see, but like, it doesn't have to be hard. And then it will start raising red dots. I'm not doing it hard enough to raise red dots right now. And then it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to hurt. It should feel like a strong massage. And I always check in with the patient to ask them how they're feeling during the treatment. And if it does start to hurt, you back off. And your acupuncturist can show you how to do guasha. I would highly recommend learning from an acupuncturist how to do guasha if you want to do it on yourself. Maybe your acupuncturist will teach classes for you and your family members to come in and learn how to do guasha properly, because you should be able to do guasha, and as soon as you start to see red dots come up, you move to a different area. That's the most important thing. You don't, scrape your skin to death, basically. You don't want to make your skin bleed. The red dots coming up are blood coming out of the blood vessels underneath the skin, and what happens is when the blood is reabsorbed into the body, it creates an immune response, and that's how cupping and guasha actually help to stimulate your body's immune system. And guasha has numerous things that it's good for, and here we're just talking about how it can help strengthen your immune system, and also if you've got a cold or flu, it can help to get rid of that faster. And those are two things you can do for yourself, two things that you can do that aren't acupuncture or herbs, so cupping and guasha. Guasha is easily learned, and again, I would say make sure you learn it from your acupuncturist, get a proper lesson before you try it at home. But it is something that people do around the world and have done for a long time. There's a movie I just saw that Aria Nielsen talks about in her class on Guasha called The Guasha Treatment. It was the most popular film in China in 2001.
Huh.
And who knew, right?
I think, is it Ang Lee? I believe it's Ang Lee.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You can...
Before he was Ang Lee.
Okay.
If it's the same film, because
All right.
he made one about Guasha
Oh,
as well.
all right.
Yeah, about a grandfather who gets arrested.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, the Guasha Treatment, you can look it up on YouTube. It had me on the edge of my seat, even though I know what Guasha...
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
But it's really great to show in a slightly sad way the misinformation around Guasha. You know, if you're going to get Guasha or cupping is now, because of the Olympics, people know what cupping looks like, but they don't necessarily know what Guasha looks like. And it can be misconstrued, and people might think that it's a form of abuse or that you might have a horrible skin condition. So I recommend reading about Guasha. Whenever I do Guasha on patients for the first time, I'll send them a link to my article about Guasha and tell them to warn their loved ones if they, happen to take their shirt off and their loved ones go, "Oh my God, what happened to you at the acupuncturist?" They'll know that it's actually a healing treatment. And the dots from Guasha, the actual sha, goes away in a few days. It's not a bruise. And cupping marks take a little bit longer. It really depends on how fast your body heals from things like bruises, but they're not bruises. So that's important to know. Anything you want to add, Kirsten?
No, I think you really covered it. I really encourage folks to read Denise's article. We have a link to that on our Pinterest board, bit.ly/Periscope pins. Guasha is a fantastic home treatment, remedy, definitely grandmother's medicine done by family members and loved ones all over the world as part of our Keep Healthy toolkit. My partner knows how to do it and knows how to receive it, and it's definitely the first line of defense in our house. If we feel a sore throat, scratchy throat, that sense of getting a cold, right away get some Guasha without waiting, and that will often do it. That will often interrupt a cold that before it can get a foothold. And in that case, I just do it. It's Meridia around.
Meridia.
I would just do it. Here on the back of the neck and the upper back right here, or sometimes even, just as far as you can get inside of a shirt, just do it really quickly with a soup spoon or something. That we have a Guasha tool at home for just a minute or two. If you're fighting something, you'll often find that you get red and hot right away. That it comes up really, really quickly, more so than it would, in a normal time. So it's a kind of, empirical experience of the way that, we understand it is like kicking out the cold, the pathogen that's trying to get settled in your body there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Meridia. And thank you, everybody, for watching today on TCM Talk. We're going to be back, or Kirsten's going to be back by herself in 2 weeks from today on September 15th. 15th?
Yes, September 15th.
September 15th at 4 o'clock Pacific time. And she'll be talking about...
I will be talking more about holistic, natural, and traditional Chinese medicine, immune-enhancing practices, a little bit of esoteric stuff about the seasons and how we can transition from summer into fall and take care of ourselves and our families along the way. Some more herbal information about herbal helpers for immunity, and also essential oils and how they can be part of your immune boosting and back-to-school toolkit as well. If you have any questions about natural immunity enhancement that you'd like me to answer, go ahead and email us, traditionalchinesemedicinetalk@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on social media. We're all over the place, at TCM Talk on Twitter, on Facebook, on Pinterest, on YouTube. We're everywhere. So ask away.
Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you in 2 weeks. Stay healthy out there.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.